Welcome, everybody, to the Tavern. Hey, Dave showed up.
Yeah,
Dave showed up
up
at the buzzer.
for 3. Yes.
Cheers.
And it counts.
I'm
To
still
the
Cheers.
conclusion of
Like
Masters
computer work.
Week.
Cheers to the conclusion of Masters Week.
Oh, man. You're
Oh,
still
there it
trying to
is.
get... You're still trying to get your computer to work.
Yeah.
Okay. Can we start
All right,
off
well,
by
it's-
saying, like,
Yeah,
well, we gotta
Greg.
go around the room. What are we drinking? What's everybody drinking tonight? And if
Well,
you're not drinking
first
out of a
off-
Masters cup, you're crazy. Beer.
Beer. Didn't even have...
I do also have
Yay.
I have both of these two that I could switch up to if I need to tonight. So
Nice.
Oh,
There you
Master's
go,
Perfect. There you go. With the koozie. I like it, Dave. So I want to start. We were all together last week. In a place that the PGA Tour is playing this week.
That is true.
That is
Go
true.
figure.
I played a lot more golf last week. I know, Dave, you played more golf than you've played in, I don't know, 2 years at this point, I think. If we had to
Yeah,
number.
funny,
Well,
my mom said the same thing.
you did have that golf trip in January that you got suckered into, but yeah, you've played more golf. So I want to give a shout out to one of our previous guests, and the guys from Sycamore Biopharma. Just because there we go. Give them a shout out because last week CBD was our friend to get us through a lot of walking and a lot of golf last week. So we'll start with that. And
When
I'm
you
sure
guys
we'll get to that
left
at some point.
When you guys left on Friday, on Saturday, my foot was so sore. You know what I used?
The socks.
I used the socks. The
What do you
socks
think of them?
help. They're comfortable. I will just say
They're
they're
comfortable.
even if you just buy them as socks, they're just comfortable socks.
Nice. That's awesome. I think we should mix things up a little bit tonight because we've got obviously a huge recap dedicated to last week in the middle of the show for happy hour. So let's jump right into Greg. Greg going for the win in his plaid hat. I'm still surprised, Greg, you didn't break out the plaid suit for the show tonight, other than we're doing a Masters recap. That might be our, your attire next week, maybe.
So it will be my attire next week, but to be honest, I was going to wear the plaid jacket first and then switch to the green jacket. And I was going to do that, but I figured it is Masters week. I'll wear the plaid hat this week. Yep, we all got our credentials on.
Yeah.
You got our credentials.
So
Matt
we
Gary
do-
says they got to get.
I
Lee
have
needs
a
a
shirt on
headset
right
because
now, but they're in the wash.
I will
they're in the wash.
say I will say that this is my favorite 2 weeks in all the PGA Tour. You got the Masters and then the Heritage, because my first home out of college was Hilton Head Island, South Carolina, and I absolutely love the Heritage. I have been almost every year.
Why aren't you going this year, Greg?
Because we were just there and I had to leave to come back to work.
You didn't stay to
Because
go
the
to
Masters.
vacation.
But
I can
Greg,
I can go to one or the other.
bought the
He went ahead of time.
flag.
What was that?
I didn't realize you bought the house flag.
Oh, I didn't buy it at the Masters. I was telling Steve. I got this on Amazon.
Ooh, nice.
It was cheaper on Amazon. I don't know if it's a knockoff, but it looks phenomenal. And this thing is huge.
Yeah.
So I had to get the house flag.
But I got that nifty par 3 flag over my shoulder here too.
Oh,
I
yeah.
know.
I haven't put mine
I
up
had-
yet.
Nice.
Yeah.
I'm framing that with our picture. So I think I am going to use. Let's see. Where is it? I think I'm going to use this picture. That's the picture I think I'm going to use.
I think it's a good picture. Other
It's a
than
load
on
my end.
I'm leaning forward off balance in it.
Yeah, and the guy's thumb I had to crop out. This wasn't the guy who took the photo. Wasn't,
Oh, yeah. That's right.
I think-
and then the other
I
people
think-
tell us, sit down.
I think he's had too many of these.
Yeah. Except for
It's possible.
But before we get into the Masters, because that's going to be our main thing for today's show, because we spent a lot of time there. Let's talk the tournament that's going on this week. So this week we have the Heritage, the RBC Heritage at Harbortown in Sea Pines on Hilton Head Island.
Mhm.
One of my favorite stops.
Lee, you played Harbortown, haven't you?
I have played it several times. Birdie number 6.
Nice. We've played
All
it.
matters.
I've played it several times. I've taken these two out once.
Let's go with obviously Harbortown's known for the lighthouse.
Yeah.
We've all played it. What's your favorite hole in the golf course?
I like 17.
I was just gonna say, to sit and watch, I like 17.
I like 17 just because it's a nice par 3. It's a tough par 3. It's not an easy par 3 by any stretch of the means. And you have to do a tougher par 3 before it.
Yeah.
On what, 14?
I don't think that's the
3?
best par 3 on that side.
You think 13 is the best par 3 on that side?
No, I think 14 is the best par 3 on that side.
Oh, sorry,
13 's the hole
14.
with the most-
14. Yeah.
I think 14 might be my favorite hole in that whole golf course. I love 14.
So 14 is the toughest, one of the toughest par 3s I've ever played.
Yeah.
Especially if you play it from the back. From the back, it's impossible.
And the green that really slopes away from you with water on the right, and the green slopes back and right. Like it's literally it's a Pete Dye masterpiece in a green just to begin with. And if you miss the green, you're dead.
Your only
Absolutely.
bailout is long and left. That's your only bailout
Correct.
on that hole.
And
And you're going to make 4. Go ahead, hit it there. You'll make 4. Go
And
ahead, hit it there. You'll make 4.
I've seen so many people bail out to there, like they just miss their swing, and then they'll chip it over, and it'll be in the pot and in the little stream there.
I may or may have not been there.
Yes.
Um,
I don't think there's a pond or a body of water on that course that I didn't find.
pool, pond would be good for you.
Yeah.
So
no, it's a fantastic golf course.
it is.
You
Fun to
don't have
watch,
to be
fun
long
to play.
to win there. You need to be accurate. It's more of an accuracy golf course than a shot shapers golf course. And to be one less player this week. Rory decided to stay home after missing the cut last week at Augusta. I say we jump right into our picks and then let's move to happy hour. Dave, what do we got for odds this week?
That's a good question.
Where are we on DraftKings?
Because all my stuff is decided to shut down for right now. So
Is it an ID10T error, Dave?
the joys of Iowa. Well, I haven't even uploaded the scores yet, but Steve, you and I missed the cut, so Craig's in first.
Yeah, we
I
got
am in
55
first.
points for a miscut.
Yeah.
Yep, that was tough to watch.
All right, I will give you 3 guesses on who the favorite is.
Scotty.
John Rahm, and John Rahm.
Greg is correct.
Who?
Scotty Scheffler.
Scotty Scheffler
Oh,
at 8-1. John Rahm at 8.5. Patrick, I don't know what a shot clock is. Cantley at 11-1.
oh, that
Does
put
it
up
make-
15 was painful to watch.
He doesn't
Like,
have
I
a
just
pitch
said,
count.
I'm like, butt it. Just hit it. Just hit it. That putt breaks 20 feet and hit it.
He's already on the clock for this week.
Oh, golly.
Those are your top 3 right there.
But do you really think Rom will be there?
Rahm has to play this week because he
Yeah,
miss?
that's true.
He missed. You can miss one elevated event, and he skipped Hawaii, so
Yeah.
he has to play this week. He doesn't have an option.
Well, he
dang.
skipped Hawaii because he won
Play.
he won the Century.
But then he's already skipped an elevated event, hasn't he? No.
No, he
Oh, that'd
played
be
in the Century. He
interesting.
won it.
Oh, you're right. My bad. Thought Rory did.
No. He won the Century. He's won 4 events this year. He could skip this one, but he's not. He's still in the field.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, that's what I was going to look.
Greg, you pick first.
I'm looking right now. Because I wanted to pick Scheffler because my gut is telling me that after the way he played the Masters, that he's going to want to come back and win something because he was not putting well, and I think he
No.
works on that. So my gut's telling me to take Scheffler. I was going to take Schauffele, but I'm going to take Scheffler. I got to.
Okay.
My gut's telling me to take him.
All right.
Steve?
And by the way, my gut's the only one that made it past the cut this week. Just saying.
Hey, I got screwed by the weather. Steve got screwed by his brain.
That's usually not the case.
I'm looking at two guys. One of the guys used to carry the Lighthouse head cover on his golf bag.
I like that pick. I like that pick.
But I think I'm going to go another way, and it's Victor Hovland.
Okay,
good
going
pick.
with Hovland again.
Victor, 22-1.
Yep, I think he's playing well, and I think small greens. My fear with Victor is he doesn't chip it well, and it's small greens.
Yeah.
My other thought with Victor is he rolls it great. If he hits greens, he's going to make birdies because those greens are easy to putt.
They are easy to putt, but like you said, they're tough to hit.
You got to hit them first.
Yeah. So.
All right, Dave.
Oh, I'm going to take a flyer here.
Oh, boy.
I'm going to go a little bit farther down the odds here. And I'm going back to Tommy Fleetwood.
Ooh,
okay.
Tommy to Mr. This day and age is Colin Montgomery.
Yeah.
Can win the European Order of Merit and can't win in America.
Hey, Steve, send me in on the other one.
Okay.
You know who would have been a great pick this week and nobody took?
Who?
Well, Lee, you might take him.
I'm going Ricky.
Oh, I like it.
Okay.
Fowler.
I thought about Ricky. I thought that was a good.
You know who I wanted
Dave,
someone to pick this week?
Who's that?
Dave might have froze there for a second. But you know who I wanted someone to pick this week?
Who?
He's won this tournament multiple times.
Matt Kuchar.
No, he's only won it once. And I have his autograph on the ticket that he's on right there.
Yeah.
Davis Love.
Davis Love. That's 100.
Davis
The
Love.
dude played 2 weeks ago in Texas and couldn't break wind. Why would somebody pick him? I know he's won 7 times at Arbortown, but I feel like he owns the place at this point. He's won so much.
Exactly. He would be
walking
like
blindfolded.
Mickelson this week at Augusta. He just knows this course.
Again, we're going to get into that. And I mean, hell, Jack contended into his mid 50s. Freddie made the cut at 62 and almost 63. Everyone that's saying, "Oh, fill this, fill that," there's something about past champions there that always end up playing well into their 50s, and obviously now Freddie making the cut in his 60s.
Yeah.
So let's
DL3 2,500 to 1.
Oh, that's a big ask. I'm gonna be honest with you.
Just slightly above Tommy Gibson at the end of the brackets there.
Who is Tommy Gibson?
I don't know.
I was just thinking.
He's 5,000 to 1.
I mean,
All right.
yeah, no. Okay.
All right. So this, I will say, if you are looking for a tournament to go to, this is a fun tournament to go to. The Heritage is a party on the island. It is the southern version of the Waste Management, where this is like a southern college football game where the girls are dressed up.
Dave and I have
classy.
turned Bay Hill into that too.
Yeah.
I'm not even going to address that. Don't even try. Get out of here. This is it is an amazing event to go to. The town is rocking that whole week. Dave and I have run into players at restaurants and bars. Dave, I think you even served some at some bars when you were a bartender on the island. But it is a phenomenal event, and I cannot talk enough about how fun this event is. I was so happy when it was made a designated event because it so deserved it. Because the players absolutely love it. So if you got the chance, tickets are already sold out. So, but I know
Sold
you can
out,
go
but-
online.
I mean, and it's
Bag
only
one.
it's only what, a 2.5 hour car ride from Augusta anyway over to Harbortown. Like, it's not like they're going very far.
Right.
Well,
you
we
know,
made the trip,
I mean,
so we
there
know
were-
how long it is.
Yeah, we've made that trip. There's 1,500 private jets sitting at
Most of them have
Yeah,
taken off.
most of them have taken off by now at Augusta Regional. But did you hear the story that they hire 100 extra people at Augusta Regional just for the week, temporarily?
Oh yeah. Oh,
I
they have
believe
to.
100 extra people just for the FBO.
Just need the baggage and stuff like that. So
Greg, are you on Scotty 2 weeks in a row here?
no, I had
No, he took Justin. He took Jordan last
I
week.
had Spieth last week.
Oh, yeah, Jordan. That's
He
right.
took Jordan last week.
I had
Sorry,
Jordan last week.
I'm updating.
Yeah, no, I had Spieth last week.
Okay.
So either way, both of them made the cut. So
This is true.
we'll get into that though in a few minutes. So let's switch hats.
Wow. With the caddy style hat, ladies and gentlemen, Greg.
Oh yeah. Oh, believe me, if I could have had the caddy bib here in time, that would have been on.
Wow,
for this-
we
for
would
this
have rocked a
podcast.
caddy bib this week.
I would have rocked the caddy bib this week. So
All right. So what happened last week in golf? Nothing big, right?
No,
nothing. This
I heard a tree.
This,
a
The other day in the
a tree
neighborhood.
fell
this
over.
happened. This happened last week.
That
This-
happened last week. That did happen
That
last week.
happened
Man, what a
last
fun
week.
day that was.
Yeah.
So-
Paris Island. Lee,
Great
thank you for
time.
getting us out there. It was great to have Rob, your brother, out there with us. So that was awesome. Yeah, there was
Rob
it was a fun day.
Rob was striping it. He walks up to the
He
first
does.
tee. He played the back nine with us, and he's like, I don't know, I'm just getting out of my truck, and boom, knocks it, hits par on the first hole. Like
That's true. That's true. There's Rob.
Lee brought
Yeah.
a ringer. Lee brought
Yeah,
a ringer.
total
to the
ringer.
game. So
He's my fairway finder.
Yeah.
man, Rob was a good time. I want to play with him more often.
Yep. No, that's Rob's a good time on a golf course. That isn't my first round with Rob, and I know it won't be my last. So that was a good time.
Yep.
I love how the banner is blocking out Dave's face right now.
Par for the course.
That comes up. But something else did happen this week.
Did happen. Oh,
Dun, dun, dun.
There was a few other things.
Dave looks like he's ready to do a cheer pose there in that picture.
Yeah, I'm like trying to get set, and the guy takes that picture. I was falling over.
I shouldn't have cropped it out. The guy's thumb is right here in the photo.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
I cropped it right to it.
Twice.
People were both times. He goes, I'll take it again. Still there. I mean, it's not like it was at all crowded this week.
No.
No.
No. And we were there Wednesday, all four of us, and Lee, it
And
was
that
your
red hue
second.
that we're showing there that's how red we. I mean, it was. I got sunburned. You big time.
Oh, so did I.
Greg
Oh,
had to
it was
play
bad.
like an L as
I was covered head to toe when we played on Thursday just because I couldn't take the sun. My arms were so red. Any kind of heat just hurt.
Yeah.
It was crazy. But like
Yeah, I went last year with Rob and this year with you guys. Man, if I don't make it there next year, I'm gonna have withdrawals.
you got to go for the hat trick. I mean,
Exactly.
I will say it is an experience unlike any other. If you've never
I
been
think next
it
year,
is-
we still need to come up with a really good angle for next year.
we'll
as
talk
to-
about that.
We need to
we'll
talk
talk
about
about
that after fact.
We'll talk about that later. But when you get there, like I'll go back to this photo. When you get there, this looks unbelievably miserably crowded. I will say it does not feel that way. Like even
No.
I didn't mind waiting in line to get in. They broke it up. And as we all said, those are the friendliest people we have ever met. Like, I didn't meet anyone that looked like they were having a bad day, that looked like they were tired. They put on the greatest show on earth and had made everyone feel welcome. And it didn't feel crowded. Like,
I'm going to say
It was
this, three of us
unbelievable.
worked. three of us worked at Disney, and our jobs were leaders in the leadership at Disney were to get people to engage, interact, always have a smile on their face. And it was the hardest thing on the planet. I think it was probably the toughest challenge we all faced when you look at it day in and day out with each and every guest that walked through the door. The patrons at Augusta were treated like we wanted to have everybody treated when we worked at Disney. When we walked up to a security guard, welcome to the Masters, welcome to Augusta National Golf Club. Every one of them couldn't have been nicer.
No,
and every one of them had a smile on their face. We walked up, we were left of 10T. We were looking at Eisenhower cabin, asking where Butler cabin was. It couldn't have been nicer to point out where Butler was. And like, just the way you could interact with the people working there. Literally, I'm going to say this, Disney needs to go and benchmark.
That is true.
I may have mentioned that to a certain family member of mine.
I ain't mad at you for that.
Yeah.
Well, and that's the thing is, and Disney does do it right. Disney does it great. The Masters took it to a whole new level.
Yeah.
Like
whole new level.
Part of that was like, and I always said this at Disney, like Disney puts the bar here and everyone expects the bar here and they deliver on that. The Masters, the bar is here and they delivered way above that.
Yeah,
like,
way above.
Right.
The only line that we actually had to wait more than like 5 minutes in was the merchandise, just to get into the merchandise shop. Which
was like a queue line at Disney World. Let's just call it what it is. The thing was a queue line at Disney World.
It's and also when you walk in there, oh my god, like
it's kind of
unbelievable.
Yeah.
It is. It's overwhelming.
It's overwhelming. Exactly.
I didn't know. Like I'm like I want. I don't. I'm looking at. Oh, but I want. Just grab stuff. Just throw it in your cart.
One of each.
Oh my god, it was. And then just go to the register and pray. Oh, because that's where they get you is that merchandise experience. But it is
But
unbelievable.
having been there before, it was nice.
$10 million
know where
a day.
everything is. Get in, get checked out, go have breakfast, wait for these guys.
$277 a second.
Yeah,
What it
I
makes.
saw that.
That's ridiculous. But all worth it. I mean, I got my hat. I got my flag. I got my par 3 pin because we were there for the par 3. Dave, you got the par 3 flag, which I'm jealous of, and I should have gotten.
I got one of them too.
I wish I had bought the par 3 hat. Is what the one I wish I had bought.
Got my koozies. Like
I also wish
chair.
I bought. I'm gonna say
you
that,
got the
Oh, the chair. The chair's amazing.
Lee. I still wish I'd bought your backpack.
See, that's where I was last year. I wanted to get one last year and I didn't.
Yeah.
So this year it's like I'm doing it.
It was,
Yeah.
and it's a nice backpack too. Like it's not like a cheap, and it wasn't that expensive for a backpack.
Yeah.
It was not expensive at all.
But
So,
the
like,
chair was nice to have.
That's
Yeah,
the
yeah,
chair.
yeah.
The chair is the way to go. If you go buy a chair because you can just put it down, no one else will sit in it. And
Well,
if they
let's
do, they'll
just
get up
talk
and
about
get
over the
there.
weekend. There was another item that was a more necessity over the weekend
Well,
for people. There was an umbrella that was
Sunscreen?
necessary over the weekend.
umbrella, sump pump.
Yeah, something. That sub-air system wasn't working fast enough at Augusta.
That
Chainsaw.
sub-air system needs a vacation after that.
Yeah,
Those 2
2
days.
inches of rain
That
on
was-
Saturday. Yeah.
Oh, that was crazy. I mean,
It's like 2 inches of rain.
All right, so we could talk about the golf course till we're blue in the face and the confusion that we had up to.
so beautiful.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh my
And
God.
then when you get to the top of that hill, the ski slope down to 2 green, because that's really it's like a double diamond going down to 2 green. The steepness of it.
What's the one thing you don't get? The 2 things you don't get from TV are how green and how pristine this golf course is. Because we watched it like the next day, and we're like, we watched the par 3 on TV when we got home that night, and we were like, it looked better in person. Like it looked so much better in person,
and it looks
then,
amazing on TV. I mean, let's be
it
real,
does,
it looks amazing on TV.
And the other thing is, it is a ski slope out there on half of these fairways.
Do you have the picture of 10, Greg?
I have the picture.
Man, we walked up 10.
This is the picture of looking up 10.
Yeah, the oxygen that you need when you get to the top of that hill.
Oh my goodness! I wanted a people mover.
You need a Sherpa
Yeah,
just to get up that hill.
Right.
And a donkey.
Donkey? What is it, Shrek? I mean,
You need a Sherpa with a donkey that's going to help you get up that hill.
oh golly. No, I think the hill that I think surprised all of us happened as we walked past the merchandise tent, past the big sign, and there's a hill on one that nobody knows is there. Because the TV angle does not look like you walk down 100 yards and then up 150 yards on one.
It's insane.
And it just, and I think the other thing that the Masters does a great job on TV sucking you into the hole. If that makes sense.
That's what you
And they focus with their camera angles. They do a great job focusing on the hole itself. So you don't see a lot of other things around. Like, where are you on the golf course? So I think one of the things that I think surprised me a lot was like 6 green being right next to 16 green, where you could sit in a swivel chair and just watch action on both of them. The other thing that I literally was shocked at was that 15T is right behind 10 green. Like, is that where the trees were that fell?
Yeah,
literally right across there are the 3 trees that fell.
Yeah, back there. These are the trees before they fell back here.
So, yeah. I don't want to segue to Smack of the Week, but that may be a segue to Smack of the Week, literally.
But that was what you said. Like, you don't realize that 15 is right here. 6 is right on the behind it. You can't see my mouse on here, but like it's unbelievable. Like how close and how all these holes cross over each other.
Yes. I think the other thing that about the golf course is, and there isn't a weed in the parking lot. Never mind on the golf course. Anywhere. Like, the parking lot doesn't have a weed. They use Roundup in the parking lot just so the parking lot looks pristine.
That's what we're watching the par 3, and that pine needle fell on the fairway. I was just waiting for it to just disappear.
Like, how many times did we see guys with, blowers out there on the greens?
Yeah. And it was probably for like one pine needle too. Like, it was ridiculous.
Yeah, it's unbelievable, like how pristine they keep this course. How
the other thing,
I have a new perspective of the course now. Like, when I see the holes on TV, I'm like, they look different to me because now that I've been there and I know what they look like.
Exactly.
The other thing that you see at Augusta that you don't see anywhere else is there's 2 things. One, how well they hide concessions. They're on the golf course, but they're not on the golf course.
And they're huge too. They're
not
like
exactly.
It's not like they're small.
They move people through like that. Like, you're gonna line 100 deep and you're through in 3 minutes. Like, it's unbelievable. And 2, the bathroom attendants are kind of entertaining to me. As you walk in and they're like, stand or sit, and they're literally directing you, and people are just moving, and it's a well-oiled machine as you go through. Even the restrooms at Augusta, and there's no porta potties. They're restroom buildings at Augusta National.
Like, Steve, I'm gonna take us through your slides here. Like,
okay,
there's the speaking of the concessions, how you started your day. Pimento cheese, egg sandwich.
I was impressed on how fast the fallen trees were gone. The spots where they were was green and level. I heard a story this weekend on TV about the fact that there's a divot crew that comes out during the tournament and literally like sod patches divots.
That's why we saw that one divot there walking by, and I was shocked it was there.
Yeah.
And probably like 20 minutes later, it was probably gone.
Exactly.
Hey, Brad, by the way, how are you?
This is a good elevation change right here.
Number 6.
These pictures aren't loading for me, so I'm gonna have to go with whatever it is you're saying.
Okay. And then, like, there's a 16 from the tee box. Oh, such a pretty
Oh, yeah.
course.
What's
there's the
up,
new
Rob?
T-Box
Rob is watching tonight, guys.
Rob!
Man, Rob! Rob, we can't wait to play golf with you either, buddy. Look forward to that.
Hey, Rob, if you win the drawing, do we have to ship your stuff to you, or can you just get it from Lee?
Well, Steve has it.
I have it. Look,
Lee will make you another one.
He's a lefty, remember?
Yeah.
Oh, can't use it.
Here you go. Here's the concession signs.
You know,
Barbecue.
The barbecue was
That barbecue was fantastic.
That barbecue's better than Buc-ee's. I had Buc-ee's today for the first time, and it was good. That's it.
For a gas station barbecue, it's probably the best, but
It's the best gas station barbecue you're ever going to
There
have
you
in
go.
your life. I'll give you that.
exactly.
And also the cleanest and most nicest gas station I've ever been to. I do love a Buc-ee's, but
yes.
this barbecue sandwich at the Masters, that wins.
I don't know, the 3 pimento cheeses and 1 egg salad, because I started with an egg salad sandwich because I figured it was like breakfast, were pretty amazing.
I don't know how you made it out of there alive.
What?
Remember,
You know,
I
I made it
ate
out there
one of those.
alive.
Yeah, you were going to town on those. You were in heaven.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, they're pretty amazing, not going to lie.
Such a beautiful place.
So let's talk about the tournament. Let's talk about
That was a fun tournament this year.
amazing tournament. And I think the live debate, where I want to say it settled itself. The 3 golfers that showed up on the leaderboard for live, to me, and I will give all of them credit for getting there, didn't surprise me. Patrick Reed always plays best when there's negativity surrounding him. I mean, how many times has he won after
True.
causing a stir? We can go back to Torrey Pines when he won after moving his golf ball, which he said was embedded, and we all know it wasn't. So I think that, and he won the Masters under a cloud of controversy because of the relationship that he has with his parents. Let's be real. So him being there as a past champion didn't surprise me. Phil being there, again, like I said earlier, past champion. Jack played well into his mid to late 50s, even at Augusta. Yeah. Freddie's always on plays well at least 1 or 2 of the first 2 days there. And I mean, Freddie made the cut at 60, whatever he is now.
63.
So Phil being there
63.
as a 3-time champion didn't surprise me. Bubba's performance actually kind of surprised me. I will say that as a past champion. And I think Brooks had a lot to prove now that he's back and healthy. And I think Brooks being there didn't surprise anybody. And if any of the live guys were going to win it, I'm going to say this, I wouldn't have been upset if Brooks had won.
No, I agree. Actually, that one TikTok that Dave you were showing, where it's like, all right, we're going to separate into 2 groups, everyone we like and everyone we don't like.
Yeah.
If everyone could get up, except Patrick Reed. That's kind of how everyone felt. But the one thing that I loved watching the broadcast, and I was thinking about this yesterday,
the tape delayed broadcast on Saturday, because the way into the rain delay 20 minutes after.
That sucked. I go, oh, good. They got CBS got 15 minutes of airtime. What I loved about the way that ESPN and CBS called this together is no one brought up live. They talked about every golfer like they were just playing. They didn't talk about they were a live golfer. They didn't talk about that they were.
Well, and I think a lot of that is the Masters, because the Masters want you to focus on the Masters,
and that's what was great about it. Like that's what I loved. They didn't, and
I think you will hear
differences
in a month at the PGA. I think you will hear a bigger difference at the PGA than you heard this week.
I hope I don't. I hope, and this is my beg to all the majors, is that it is just golf. Let these guys play.
Yeah.
Keep it as the field as they're playing. I don't mind at the end, like when they were like, okay, a PGA player won, tied for second was Liv, then a PGA player third. Like I don't mind that, but I don't want it during the tournament. I just want to. I want to watch them play golf. I knew, and I was glad that no one made the comment. And this is what I was thinking the whole time, is that man, these Liv players keep not having a good round on their fourth day. Like they don't play. I was waiting for that.
But Phil had his lowest
60,
round
65
ever at
on
Augusta.
Sunday?
Phil,
60,
Phil did.
Phil played great.
Phil could have shot 63. He missed 2 easy birdies.
Yeah. And that's Phil at Augusta. Like that's what that is.
Right.
And he almost chipped in for eagle on one.
That's the difference there. And like you said, Reed, the difference was that he had that. But you also had like there was this charge at the end. Like I was like, oh, Spieth has a chance here, and then he missed a putt. Then his drive on 18 was
Scotty
terrible.
makes a charge and then hits one over the 12th green to no man's land. Like where did that
had
go?
Had to take it unplayable.
Yeah.
Right.
I think the other thing that I think we've seen that I looked at was Sunday. Rahm just slow played you. He played very conservative golf. He didn't do anything crazy or flashy. He just went out there and took advantage of shots, and when he had opportunities to pounce, he did. And
because he couldn't play his pace.
Well, and Patrick, and I don't know. Here's the problem that I had. Patrick Cantley, yes, was playing slow, but when you looked at where groups were in the broadcast, they weren't really out of position.
No, they weren't.
So
it was
the problem in front of them? Was the problem in front of them somewhere? And at some point, but I mean, that putt that Patrick had on 16, that what was it, 70-footer that he had on 16 from the front right corner of the green. That might have been the hardest thing to ever watch on TV. I'm going to just say it. That was painful to watch. Like I'm sitting on my couch going, putt it. Like, oh my, hit it, please.
Yeah.
And I think that to me was I think that's where he's getting this, like the slow play thing from. Cause it took him forever to hit that putt.
Yeah.
Like that putt took, like if you were on a clock, you would have definitely gotten a slow play penalty for that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
that's,
and the Masters it's not like the Masters hasn't handed out a slow play penalty before. The problem was the only time they've ever done it was to a 14-year-old that won the Asian Pacific Amateur and then got into the tournament, and then they handed out a penalty to him for slow play.
Yeah. So speaking of amateurs, let's talk about Bennett here for a second.
Oh man, I wanted that guy.
And I'm gonna be honest with you, that may have been where the slow play was from. Let's just call it what it is, because he took some time to hit some shots too.
He took some time to hit some shots, but did you see the reception he got when he got back to college?
Yes.
Well, he had a 36 hole.
Yeah,
36 hole tournament to play today.
Yeah, but he's apparently
his own bag.
He's staying at college for another year.
No, he graduates this year, fifth-year senior.
He graduates. He graduates this year. This was the year he's staying on. But he promised his late father that he would finish school, and so he's doing that before he comes out on tour.
Yeah, but like the guy had to go to Dick's and buy warmer clothes. And
that's not checking the weather ahead of time.
Yeah, but he's
rookie mistake.
You know what the moment got to him, and we all heard the announcers. I was working out in the vineyard, and I had it on. I had Sirius XM on my headset, and even the announcers were saying, they're like, this kid's giving all he's got, but he's like, the moment's getting to him. He's not used to this type of moment. It's gonna make him a better golfer down the road for it. And he's going to come back. I would take him at Augusta next year.
Oh, maybe not next year.
Well,
but
as of right now, he's not in the field next year.
Yeah.
Oh,
guys get in. He finished
the below.
Yeah,
because he missed a few putts coming in.
He's not in the field next year.
But I will say he played phenomenal, being the amateur, and under the pressure he was playing in the final group on Saturday.
Yeah,
but even on Thursday, he's paired with Scotty on Thursday.
Yeah, he's always paired with.
you could say that he was playing in the final group on Sunday because the Saturday's round moved into Sunday morning.
Yeah.
And I mean, he played phenomenal. And I don't think it was that the moment got to him. I think it's just like that's a course you don't know, and it's your first major. Like he played better than the moment. Like he played better than I expected him to play, and then kept playing like that.
Yeah.
It just didn't work out for him in the end. Like he was amazing to watch. And that was what this whole tournament was.
Yeah.
It was fun to watch, and it wasn't Live versus PGA.
No.
Yeah.
It was
Going
besides
back
one
to the-
golfer.
Besides, well, the Masters has always been about the amateurs since Bobby Jones founded it.
Mhm.
So to have an amateur there and not only make the cut, but to end up in the final group in round 3 was again, it harkens back to what the tournament was founded on and the principles of what it was founded on, and made a great story this year. Like Sam Bennett, and funny, our pictures, and I don't know if you guys knew this, when we were standing behind 12T, he came through. He was Dave. You and I were standing there, and he hit it, and I was like, water. And then he hit another one. The guy that hit in the water was Sam Bennett.
Yeah. But his second one, the second guy is always better.
The second guy's
second team All-American stuffed it in there. So, I think that when you look at having the amateurs out there, letting the amateurs succeed out there, made for an amazing event. Again, that added to the storyline this year. And I think that helped the Live Tour storyline because it gave us something else to focus on this week. It wasn't just, and I also think if it had been Rory and not John with Brooks in the final round, the Live Tour storyline would have been there because Rory has been so vocal. And I think that's where you're going to, that would have been a bigger storyline. And I think the Live storyline would have been bigger had that had happened.
Yeah. But we didn't get it, and instead we got great golf.
That's it. So I got a question for you. Other than the rain, Thursday was great weather. Sunday afternoon, great for them. What do you think about course setup on the first day and how low the scores were?
I think overall everybody was trying to go low on the first day because of the weather that was coming. I think that was just inevitable of what they were trying to do.
Yeah. I think knowing what the other thing at Augusta is, kind of what you're going to get with pin positions. It's not like they vary them an awful lot. Like, especially the tour players that have been there year after year after year have seen. I don't know that there were any. I don't know that there. I don't know that there were any pin positions that surprised anybody that were out there that had been there before.
No,
so
classic pin positions.
They're always classic pins. So when you have the same pins that are out there year in and year out on a golf course you play year in and year out, I mean, it's kind of like when you look at 17 at Sawgrass. What there's 6 pins you're going to see on the 4 days. One of the 6 pins you're going to see. And I feel like the Masters is that way. Unless they redesign a green or do something and move something around, you don't really see a lot of new pins. So I really feel like these guys have seen these pins. They've gotten used to them. And if you've been there more than once, you should. Again, why do players play great into their 50s at Augusta? Because they know what what to expect.
Yeah.
So here's the thing I say about these pin locations. I was thinking about this when I was watching on Sunday. Was the pin locations, where they are, but you can't fly them. Like if you fly to them, you're gonna roll away. You're gonna miss. They have false fronts. They have all these undulations to them. But if you know where to hit, if you hit the right spot, it's a risk reward. Like if you miss by like an inch one way, you're gonna roll back the other way.
Yeah.
But if you get it an inch the right way, it's gonna roll right down to the hole.
All right.
And it gives you those amazing shots.
Let's talk about the big change of this year then, because we all saw it.
The tee box.
The 13th tee box being moved back. So I said this. We were talking about this last week, and I said the problem that I have with moving the tee box back is next one. Yeah, that one.
There it is.
The problem that I had with them moving that tee box back to where they moved it back to was that does it take away from the roars on Sunday? Because you have the eagle chances that you've kind of taken away. Tiger was right. You've taken away 3s and 7s, and you've given a lot more 4s and 5s back. And funny enough, the hole had a lower scoring average than it has in years past.
Yeah,
because you're putting wedges in tour players' hands. I mean, let's be real.
You took Race Creek out of it. Yeah.
But here's the thing.
So,
Here's what I felt about it. People still went for it. Like, it wasn't like you had to like rip one down there and then you could go for it. It made them make more of a decision.
But to me, it didn't bring the one thing it didn't do was it didn't bring Race Creek into play anymore.
Yeah,
it did. No, but it did.
No, you didn't see balls ending up in Race Creek. The sevens were gone.
That's true.
Trying to take the corner on.
No, but here's what happened.
You didn't.
People.
The sevens were gone. The big numbers were gone. So, and also what was, I mean, what were there? 2 eagles? Cam Young made an eagle on Sunday, and I think there was one more on Sunday. It was in an earlier group. So when you're not seeing, like, that's the one thing at Augusta to me, of the reason that I love that Amen Corner is so great is that you can go 3-2-3 you could have gone 3-2-3 in the past very easily. You hit a great shot into 11, you make birdie. You can make a putt on that green. It's not overly. It's one of the flatter greens on the golf course. 12, you can hit a shot left of that flag and you can make that putt. To me, they took away the leaders making an eagle there and moving forward, and that to me is what the excitement is of Augusta on Sunday.
No. See, I disagree. I think that it brought the excitement in because they had to make a decision. Like, because before you watched it, and every time it was like they're going for it. Every time. Now, if they didn't hit a good shot, they weren't going for it. If they hit a good shot, now they were like, do I risk and go for it? You saw people and they were like, I've never seen anyone in this back bunker before because
right.
Right. All the way over.
I don't think I've ever practiced a shot from over
exactly.
there.
That was
exactly.
The comment.
Yeah, Trevor Immelman said it. Yes.
Yeah. I loved that it made it more difficult than just being a reachable par 5. It was still reachable. I don't think it made it unreachable, is what most people thought going into it. And they
it wasn't
proved
7
that.
iron in. It was 4 iron in, not 7.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But that's why it was better. Like, I don't want to watch them hit. I want to watch them have to make a decision. And if they miss, they miss. Like, I loved it. I thought I want 13 like this. Yeah. I don't want everyone coming up there on an Amen Corner and trying to bomb it for eagle. I want them to bomb it for eagle if they're going to take the risk to try and win the tournament. But I don't need everyone bombing it for eagle.
Right.
That's what I loved.
And in seeing the practice round and watching those guys hit there. Okay, here's my drive to here. Okay, I'm going to go for it. Here's my shot to this point. Here's my shot to the green.
And there were locations you needed to lay up to. Like, you had to hit balls to certain spots. I also found it amusing, and we talk about how far the golf ball goes, and we've all had our conversations. We did an after party on the golf ball, on rolling back the golf ball. Did anybody pay attention during Saturday and early Sunday about how far the golf ball wasn't going?
Especially the end of the third round and all of the fourth round.
Yeah.
Like, the golf ball wasn't going any. The weather was cold.
It was the weather.
I mean, they were talking about drives flying 260 for tour players.
Yeah.
Well, somebody hit one 240, flushed it and hit it like 245 in the air, and I was like,
well, it was wrong on 15. Like, that went nowhere.
Rahm on 18. That was my favorite.
Yeah.
Yeah, 15 turned into a leg hole. Well, when was the last time you saw that? When was the last time you saw Champion actually a provisional? Like,
did you see the post from Golf Digest that Scotty 4-putted the Masters last year to win it, and Rahm 4-putted the first hole to win it this year?
Yeah. It's the first time. It's the second time someone has
double bogey the first hole.
The first
and won.
hole and won.
That's I guarantee you that'll be a parlay bet next year.
Oh, 100%. But you are true about this, about the golf ball. Like, this is where, like, now I don't think you need a restricted flight golf ball. I don't think you need anything, especially with the way 13 played, with the way the weather played on there. Because if you had a restricted flight golf ball in this weather, that'd have been the dumbest
it'd be
final.
Drivers would have gone 230,
Yeah.
220, 230. Like that wouldn't even have been like. You want the argument for not doing it? There it is. Weather,
Yeah.
Mother Nature. Like you follow the
Right
sun.
there.
If you're the PGA Tour, you follow the sun. You get the occasional. I mean, Bay Hill generally has one bad day that it's usually cold. Everybody knows it. We've all been there for that.
Pebble.
You know, Augusta can have that day. Harbortown usually doesn't. Like that's kind of the start of like it starts getting better.
Pebble.
Pebble. Look at Pebble and whatever the Pacific Ocean throws at you.
Yeah.
Right. And there's every 7 years at Pebble, you know you're gonna have one bad year. Like it, and it's gonna be miserable.
Yeah.
So I think the idea that dialing the golf ball back, I don't think the golf ball needs to go forward, but again, you're trying to find a solution to a problem that doesn't exist.
There you go.
I
But
think
can we
we've seen
say-
that quote somewhere before.
Yeah. Can we say that Sunday, it seemed like that was going to be a runaway with two people, and it became an exciting Sunday with all these different storylines.
Yeah.
Storylines were good. It was still kind of a runaway.
Yeah.
I mean, when you
Well-
win by 4, it's kind of a runaway. Like,
Well, it became a runaway at the end, but in the middle, it was very exciting. And now there are two people who have been 12 under at a major and have blown that lead. And they both have ties to a certain tour.
Yeah.
Greg. Yeah. You know, let's go on and talk about one thing. Can we talk about that every great Spaniard has won the Masters?
Yes. And the Spaniard before them has been like Seve inspired Olazabal inspired
Sergio.
Sergio.
and
Well,
Sergio.
Seve kind of inspired Sergio too because of his age.
He did.
So
But
he did.
But Olazabal was like trained by Seve,
Yeah.
Yes,
and
wasn't it
Like,
Seve's birthday on Sunday too?
it
was
was.
Seve's birthday.
Yeah.
It was the 40th anniversary of his second win,
Yes.
and Seve and Olazabal, Ram met at an event in Spain honoring them when he was a kid, and
Yeah.
now he gets to honor them. He had caddy bib number 49. It
On
was 49 yesterday. Like everything.
Which
Just
is Seve's
so many
birthday. Like, yeah.
Oh,
Like, I feel like if we'd known that all of that was going into the
I know
equation,
the Masters winner gets bib number 1 every year, but I think Rom's in a fight for 49 next year.
it was just.
I feel like
it was
if I
great.
won, like my number, I wouldn't want to change my number.
Well,
Yeah.
maintain that number.
Well, that's like
I
you
want
know,
to keep the number.
some of us that have watched all the episodes of Full Swing, you know, when they talk about the Masters, guys are just waiting.
Dodging cheap shots here. Dodging cheap shots.
Guys are just
They're not
just
cheap
waiting
shots,
for
watch it.
other people to check in so they can get the number that they want.
Yeah,
Yep.
they'll come out and be like, "Hey, what number did you get?" Okay, I got about a half an hour.
Yeah.
Like that's. Rom's going to do that moving forward. He's going to want 4-9 when he's
But
not.
he automatically gets number 1 as
I'm not
the
saying
winner.
next year. I'm saying in
Oh,
a
yeah.
few years when he's
Yeah.
not. He's going to
The
want
other
that
thing I
number
want to
again.
give a shout out to was his not in Butler Cabin, but when they give him the jacket on the 18th green, his thank you started with thanking his caddy and Adam Hayes.
Yeah.
Not his family or anybody else. And these guys on tour spend so much time with their caddies. They spend more time with their caddies than they do their families. So kudos to him for, the caddy gets to keep the flag. But kudos for him for giving a shout out to Adam because that was really nice. And does anybody know where Adam Hayes went to college, by the way?
I'm going to say you're going to say Jacksonville.
It did.
No, he's actually
he went-
UCF. He's
Yeah,
a
I was
UCF
about to-
Knight.
I know where he went.
Oh, okay.
He's a UCF Knight. So
But
no.
what a heck of a week, boys.
Yeah.
Heck yeah.
Heck of a week.
That
We'll
was
do it again next week.
That concludes.
I'm still
Masters
recovering.
Week.
And we're all recovering.
Yeah.
Lee.
I'm still, and Steve, you said this too. We've been to other major sporting events, and you go to them, and you're like, okay, that was great, and you leave, and that was great. We're still talking about the Masters,
Yeah.
like in that whole place.
There's a different feeling when you walk out of there than you walk out of any other sporting event. Like you
I was
walk up another
excited. I got
sporting event, you're kind of
my
like, it's
Masters
over.
box showed up in the mail today saying Augusta.
Nice.
Yeah. Like you leave Augusta and you're still on cloud 9 walking out. Like you leave the Super Bowl and you're like, that's it, the game is over. Like, especially if you don't have a rooting interest in the game, like if you're just there. So to be able to walk out of Augusta, and again, we walked around Augusta National. We stayed we had the par 3 in the afternoon. That's all we did. We ate pimento cheeses and had a couple beverages, and
We saw every group tee off on the par 3.
On 7. Yeah, like
Well, or we saw the last group tee off on 1 as we were heading back to the gift
as
shop.
we were leaving. Yeah, and so it just the way it's done, the whole experience. It's really one of the coolest things ever. So
yeah,
but yeah, no. So I like winning the lottery. If you win the lottery, if you ever get a chance to go, it's one of those things that you have to do. You have to.
Yeah.
Well, with that, boys, cheers to the Masters.
Cheers to the Masters. And let's move on to last call. And we'll start with the smack of the week.
Hold on, I got a video for that. Hey, Lee. Smack of the week.
What we don't see there is Dave falling on his ass, falling out of the bunker.
Yeah,
That's
you
all
need
what
to
it
see the
is.
next one of Dave falling.
But I had to play it just because I go, Lee, Smack of the Week. That's our new intro for Smack of the Week.
So all right, so let's pull up the Smack of the Week this week. I've got a few runner-ups. We got 3 runner-ups for the Smack of the Week, and then we're gonna have the Smack of the Week. So here's the first one for Smack of the Week.
He never hit the rake.
It never hit the rake, Brad. No. So I'm going to give this Smack of the Week nominee when Siwoo Kim showing up wearing a PGA Tour shirt because he's paired with Phil. However, Phil got the last laugh on this one. So kudos to Phil for that, getting the last laugh and getting a top 5. The next picture here is an oldie but goodie.
Oh, there it is.
So
that takes us back to our original trip to Hilton Head of the Golfing Dads years ago.
Yeah.
Yes. And Dave's golf bag broke, and this was Dave throwing his bag into the dumpster. So found that one, wanted to make sure we got that in there.
I drove by this dumpster on Saturday. My dad and I went to the Edwin Watts right there, and I was telling my dad the story of, Dave threw his wedge into his bag, and it went straight through the bottom.
It was great.
Funny enough, I'm still using the same bag that I bought.
I know.
Right, yeah.
But we also made you buy a much better bag when you were there.
Right.
Lee, I have new clubs. Should I get a new bag now?
You need a new bag.
Yeah, you need a new bag. This had to make the
When you
Smack
have
of the
a
Week
bag
this week.
every month of the year, you're good to go.
Yeah.
Is that what it is, Lee?
Yeah.
That's what it
Lee,
is.
your wife's not there to hear that, is she?
Oh, she knows.
I like this from my wife's uncle. He was in the National the other day. He brought home grass clippings. That's one thing I didn't do, and I wish I did. It was just scooped it up and brought home something.
But no, Jordan Spieth. This story came out last week. Jordan Spieth sold his old house when he moved into his new one, and he forgot a safe, I think is what it was, is what the story is. And the person that bought the house demanded Masters tickets in exchange for the item, and Spieth had sent, I think, his mother or something to pick it up, and it still has never delivered on the Masters tickets, which is still hilarious. And speaking of delivering on something, Can we go back to the Scott Stallings story really quickly? Did anybody see what Scott did for Augusta
Or Scott
National?
Stallings?
Decided to use Google to send out his master's invite and not call tour headquarters to get his address. And they sent it to a Scott Stallings, who was a realtor in North Georgia. And he sent Scott a DM and was like, I think I have something for you. And here's a picture of it. And shame on Augusta. I will say this: shame on Augusta for not ponying up and giving the guy week-long badges for the week, because that should have been what happened, because he did the right thing.
Yeah.
Scott ended up getting the guy practice round tickets, and he met him at Augusta and gave him his master's invite with a thank you note that was signed in a frame with the Masters logo in the middle of it. So kudos to Scott Stallings for that.
Yeah.
Because that was actually a really cool gesture. So all of those things are cool and all, but our smack of the week has to be one this week, and there's no second guessing this one.
Play was suspended. Look at the patrons looking up. 3 trees fell just off the 17th tee. Watch this. And we're happy to report no one was hurt. I mean, very fortunate.
Thank God no one was hurt.
Yeah.
The players,
thank God no one was hurt.
On the green at 16, looking over, just couldn't believe it. But fortunately, all the patrons were able to move out of the way. So,
TikTok
that
was
was
no way affiliated with the broadcast of the
TikTok
golf
is
event.
no way affiliated with the broadcast.
Unless they want to.
I think the part about that is that literally we were 50 yards from where that happened on Wednesday.
At least.
We walked right by it.
Walked right by
Yeah,
it on Wednesday.
yeah.
And Brad commented earlier, I think, of how impressed he was that the fallen trees were gone and they literally cleared out the spot. Like, I joked with my wife that night and I said, tomorrow when they get back there, the trees will not only be gone, but they will have filled the holes in and they'll have green sand over it to make it look like it never even happened. And what did they do? Exactly that.
They had the trees gone and filled in by the time the patrons came back from that weather delay.
No, nobody came back from that weather day. That was when they suspended play.
Well, that was
the next
day. Yeah.
Well,
yeah, they
when
came back the
next day. Not wrong.
Not wrong, but yeah, I mean,
Not that wrong.
I think the other part about that is when they sounded the horn. This was Larry Mize's and Sandy Lyle's last Masters, and I believe it was Sandy Lyle's on the 18th green, and there were about 500 people around, and Jason Kokrak was pleading with them to let him putt out.
Yeah.
I think when you look back at that situation, and when you understand what's going on from the safety of everybody, you've got to get everybody off that golf course, because you don't know if a tree's if another tree is going to fall next. So I understand the why behind them doing it from a safety standpoint, but I will say sucked for, I think it was Sandy being on the 18th green and having to come back the next morning and putt out on 18. Like that's I feel bad for him, because I mean you should have had your send off on Friday afternoon.
Yeah.
So
that's the tough part, but overall, what a week!
What a week!
What a Masters week!
You know, that we didn't have an appreciation for that course before, but it's like, went from here to here.
Yeah, no, and having been and we've all been to multiple other golf tournaments. That tournament, when you're there as a spectator, is, I think you said it earlier, it's unlike any other, literally. And from the fact that you don't see, honestly, if somebody even got 50% of the way there that they do at Waste Management, they would have been escorted off the property immediately. Just the way the golf course is, but nobody gets that way. Like, they don't. You know what? There's a lot of these cups that float around.
Yeah.
$16 beers at Bay Hill compared to $5 beers at Augusta.
Delicious beers.
Yeah.
But
it's kind of like you said, Greg. You know, when you go to this, you go to other events and venues, and you're kind of like, oh, okay, it's kind of like what I saw on TV. This is so much better in person. You're not disappointed.
Yeah,
it is. You watch it, and I can't describe how, like, it looked so much better in person. And like usually TV, when you see events, like they talk about how the cameras enhance things and stuff like that. They can't even keep up with it, with how beautiful Augusta is.
Yeah, it's much greener in person than it is on TV.
Right, correct.
And I can imagine like if this was like the 80s or early 90s before 4K HD, DMI, LCD, LSD TVs, you know, what that
Wow. LSD TVs. Holy crap! Though.
Let's let that one go. Just keep
yeah.
going.
But
Sell
just
that shit.
yeah, the letters were coming out. Imagine somebody
What is this,
in
the
that
alphabet?
position at those point in times seeing what that course looked like then. We're seeing this now with the technology that we have, that it's just that much better in person.
Yeah. No,
Unbelievable.
it's unbelievable. It's the greatest piece of property. And having been there once, I can't wait to go back now.
Well, just got to remember to all enter again when that notification
Yeah.
comes out.
It's a
Yeah.
tradition unlike any other to lose that lottery.
Yes.
Yeah. Yes, it is.
Exactly.
Win.
All right, boys.
That being said, next week we've got next week's gonna be a good show. We're gonna have Corey from Revolve Golf's gonna be our guest next week. Dave, you got to use the Revolve bag this week while
Yes,
we
I
were
did.
up in Hilton Head. Really cool features of a stand bag with wheels on it. So excited to have that. And we're gonna recap Harbortown. I feel like we need to do. I'm waiting to see if we can get on Shot Tracer anybody that misses the 18th fairway at Harbortown, right? I'm just saying.
All right. With that being said, Masters Week is concluded.
Did I miss something earlier?
Did you miss something earlier?
Do we have a giveaway?
Oh, you missed something earlier.
Oh,
We're gonna
okay.
the giveaway will be announced online tomorrow.
Yes. Greg
so
was going to do the randomizer, and we ran out of time.
I just
to do the
drove back.
randomizer.
Yeah, just trying to get everything back up tonight. The randomizer will be done, and the winner will be announced tomorrow online. So look for that if you entered. Thank you for entering. Thank you for sharing. On there, we have all of your names already listed in the spreadsheet. We just have to do the.
You know what? Hey, why don't we do this? Why don't we do this tomorrow night? We'll do a quick after party tomorrow night, 8:00 tomorrow night, and do the randomizer. You want to do that tomorrow night?
Yeah, we can do the randomizer at that time.
Yeah, we can do an after party tomorrow night, and we'll talk about.
We'll just hop on for a few minutes tomorrow night.
We'll hop on
and
for a
just do
few
the
minutes.
randomizer.
We'll do that.
Yep.
And we'll do the randomizer. So,
all right. Well, with that being
look
said,
forward to that. Don't forget to tip your bartenders. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Hope you guys enjoyed it tonight, and we will see you tomorrow night and next Monday.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Peace out.
Peace.